My grandfather was bright, and he was a sharecropper. My mother was bright, but she had to help her family. My father was incredibly bright, but he was caught up in an education system that didn't recognize his brightness.
Equity for me is meeting our students where they're at.
Giving access to students, despite maybe coming from different backgrounds.
Not everyone is coming from same position.
The work of equity involves acknowledging that we don't live in a world that is equal.
And why is it important? Because, well, if we create an educational system that is supposed to mimic our society, then we really need to make sure that everyone in our society has a fair shot at achieving.
In the CUNY system, we're doing pretty well, yet we could always improve.
No, I don't think all students arrive prepared because everybody comes from different walks of life.
I think in theory, yes. In practice,
I do not. No, not at all.
It's not. It's set up for the major culture, right? For the majority. Then we expect people to figure out what the secret is to be able to get in and to succeed.
The system is not designed for everyone. Our job is to help redesign and actually construct a system that's equitable.
Unless we take a very active, proactive, conscious, targeted approach, education just contributes to increase that gap between our students.
I was about to take a year off of school due to a financial issue and my dad not being available at the time to provide his tax form because he was in prison. It just caused so much challenges that could have been avoided. And it kind of made me felt like the system wasn't really set up for a student with a background like myself.
Those who created the system kind of created it around certain values. And when they created it around certain values, there were certain people left out.
Every system that we have in place, every faculty, every staff member that touches a student, we need to make sure and be vocal when we see that there's something wrong with the system and there's some way that we could do better to make sure that the students are successful and comfortable.
So many educational inequities are deep-rooted and systemic. What that means is that the remedy has to be through a system. We have to be committed and set the tone from the top and have the grassroots advocating, working together.
I think making the campus more welcoming to students, we should be in a space where we feel represented, respected, and appreciated. So just kind of that diversity and that inclusivity across the board.
I made a deep connection with one of my professors, an immigrant like me that came from the Caribbean as well. She had such a large impact in just me feeling comfortable in the classroom.
A sense of belonging, it will really impact students in a positive manner.
Listen to what students' needs are and have honest conversations.
We really need to understand our students, and we need to come together as a community to acknowledge that these inequities exist and figure out what the action plan is moving forward.
Words are not enough. We really need to change our actions, and that's where the institutions need to invest, because we need the support of the institution to be able to implement changes.
I'm a big believer of sort of the toppling it down and rebuilding, and then really looking at what would it look like to rebuild.
I think we need to lead by example, and I think we're probably at the point where we're ready to move from theory to practice on this topic.
Thank you.